truth.
Welcome to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Scotty and friends.
Well, welcome to the little show that could, and in fact, it still does. I got to tell you, I'm getting a lot of requests for my journey and what happened, how this all started, where it came from, and how I got from a boy from Hibbing, Minnesota, an Iron Range, to a guy that's managing a Billboard artist, and what journey that took to get me here and what I learned. And that's mostly the messages that I'm getting is, what's your background? How did you get into this business? How can I get into this business? I love the music business, but I can't be an artist, but I want to do something in it. What can I do? And so I just kind of thought that maybe I'd take about a half hour of you guys' time and talk a little bit about me and how this thing all started and what I learned, what to do and what not to do in the music business. So I grew up in a town called Hibbing, Minnesota. And it's the town of Bob Dylan. He grew up there, went to high school there. We had Kevin McHale was famous there. We had a hockey player that came out of Perenovich who played for the St. Louis Blues. We've had some famous people come out of there, and I don't consider myself famous by any means. I'm behind the scene, but I'm in the entertainment industry. And I remember when I was a kid, my dad owned a roller rink. And we had a DJ booth, and it was my job to spin the Madonna records and the Saturday Night Fever records, and then I'd get on the air and say, the next skate is for couples only. And we would do that, and that's where I kind of got the bite for the entertainment industry and how people had gravitated to that and how they like to be entertained and take away from their daily life. And you know, a guy that was from Hibbing and moved to Minneapolis and then got to Nashville and now is working with Michael Gillis as a Billboard charting artist is kind of a cool story. And it's really, honestly, just about me chasing my dream. And the dream was to be in somewhere in the industry. That's why probably I deal with reality shows. I have a movie script that I wrote that is doing very well for me. Getting a lot of great feedback on that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it took me 4 years to put this movie script together, but I'm just tired of these kids shooting each other, and they just don't realize what's going to happen to them after the shots are fired. I've interviewed and talked to wardens, to inmates, to 20-year inmates, to life inmates, to police officers, psychologists, families of shooters. You name it. I've done research on this movie, and I'm looking forward to finding the right company. So I dabble in everything. I dabble in the music industry. I write a lot of music. Actually, I'm cutting next Friday in Nashville with a bunch of studio musicians. We're doing 4 songs that I wrote that I'm going to be getting out to artists. I'm pretty excited about that. But all this had to start somewhere, right? So when I first got to Nashville, Tennessee, I tried to figure out where I belonged. And I moved down to Nashville with no idea what I was getting into. I had many trips that I came to Nashville where I would drive my truck, and I slept in my truck night after night. And back then, I built this platform in the back seat of my truck so I can have something like kind of flat, and then I would put foam mattresses and stuff on there just so I could try to sleep. And I would get this little black and white TV that had the antenna that came straight up. And before it was all digital where you'd have to turn the little knob and then find the TV station, and then you could watch a little bit of TV or whatever, but it ran out of batteries. Little black and white thing, 5x5-inch screen. But I would literally sleep in my truck. It's like Lainey Wilson, today's artist. She lived in a camper. And I don't know the whole story, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but Lainey Wilson lived in a camper for a long time just so she could be around the music. That's kind of the projection. Like Garth came to Nashville. He was there for 24 hours and turned around and left. Hey, I remember reading an article where Garth said that he was into some type of meeting, and some songwriter came in and asked for an advance for a small amount of money. And the guy across the table looked at him and laughed, and Garth thought, Jesus, this town's effed. I'm getting the hell out of here, and went back to his hometown. I think that was Stillwater, Oklahoma. But anyway, you'd have to look into Garth and what happened with him. But that's just kind of it. You have to figure out that if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Like my producer, Mark Maynard, remember when you were talking about, was it Tom Petty when he said there was no plan B?
Yeah, he was in an interview. They asked him, what would you do if you had not made it into the music business? And he said, there never was a plan B. There never was an alternate choice. He said he would be singing in some bar that no one knows about for drinks or whatever. But he said there was nothing else but music for him.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like your whole life is like, this is what I'm going to do, and I don't care if I get paid or not. And if I do get paid, great. But I just have to be around. Do you think that there's been many artists that's come through your studio that's been in that same trajectory that you could just see that there was something in them?
To a smaller level than that, yes. I'm in a market which obviously is not Nashville, so I don't see artists on that level often. But that's still something. It's in a person and in their tenacity and in their what they want to do. And yeah, I have met people that I can tell are hungry. They have that hunger and that willing to work. And then I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who think that all they have to do is record something and that they're going to be famous.
Hey, I heard you should hear how good of a karaoke singer I am on Friday night at the local bar. They love me. I can sing Carrie Underwood. You would not believe, Mark, how many times
I could tell you.
that.
I get people coming to Scott, and when you go into a studio, for people listening who've never been in a recording studio, you're paying by the hour for tracking, so be prepared for what you're going to do. Oh. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come in and say, "Oh, I've got to finish my lyrics." And I'm like, "What? Your lyrics aren't finished?" "No, I'm going to finish them." And and they're sitting in the studio next to a microphone writing lyrics. And I'm like, why don't we reschedule you because you're not ready.
Yeah. One of my biggest pet peeves, and this is a stupid part on my part, is that for example, like I said, I'm going to Nashville, I'm cutting 4 tracks. Like, I am not bringing the demo singer in. And I just talked to my band leader and I said, there's going to be no scratch vocals. There's going to be no singer that's going to be in there. I need you guys just to put the music down. Can you do that? And he's like, absolutely, no problem. And the reason why is that when I get these tracks done, I'm going to give them to the singer and then give them how I want the melodies and stuff to sound. But they're going to work with it in their car, in the shower, at their house. And then they're going to learn the song and then they're going to come in the studio. I'm not going to rush it and force it. I don't think that works. So it's kind of funny that you said that a guy's going to come in and just start writing. I mean, he may be a brilliant writer, and that's good for him. But to think that you're going to write that live while you're going, that's crazy.
It's crazy because, and that's why I reschedule, because I feel bad. I could be dishonest and say, sure, pay me hourly while you sit there and write, and I'll do some other stuff. But I try to reschedule because I want them to get the most bang for their buck. But I think a lot of it too is people see documentaries of a famous artist in a studio, and that's a totally different environment and different situations. So I think they think, oh, how cool would it be to sit in the studio and I can write my lyrics and I can work with a producer. And, that's not the way it works typically in most studios unless you're, Garth Brooks or somebody like that and you want to book a studio and have the ability to do that. But I think that some people, they think that's how it works.
I think, and the crazy thing about all the music industry is I'm a victim of this. I remember when I was back in Hibbing with my friends Scott and Todd and Donnie and Adam, Pete, Rusin and Lane, and we're all riding around in the car and cruising up and down, the street or going to a restaurant or hanging out by the bonfire in the backyard. And my friends they turn up Hank Williams Jr. and I'm singing along and I'm thinking, shit, this is easy. I mean, this is not that it's easy to copy Hank Williams Jr., but in my mind, I thought I was copying Hank Williams Jr. really good. I thought, shit, you just go down to Nashville, you go in a studio, you write this thing out and you sing the shit and we're good.
Yeah. I had somebody ask me, why do you charge hourly? I wouldn't need even 1 hour. They said, my song's 3 minutes. I figure I could sing it 3 times. It'd take 9 minutes. And it'd be done. I was like, that's not how it works. I've seen people spend 5-6 hours and come away with one verse and a chorus.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Michael was telling me, Gillis, the Billboard AC artist that I'm managing, he goes, my producer is so good that when I get stuck on a line, he'll go, 1, 2, 3, but he'll go 1, 2, 3, and he'll say, I need you to sing it like 1, 2, 3. And in my mind, I'm going 1, 2, 3, and he goes, but he taught me I got to go 1, 2, 3, and he goes, and I would sell that lyric that way. And he goes, that's when you know you're with a good producer or somebody who has a great ear or can see where your craft is going. And for you to be on that side of the glass and to try to tell somebody while they're in here writing, and then to instruct them on their production, gosh, that's crazy. I'll tell you this: the guys that I'm working with, the very best of the best in Nashville, and we're doing 4 songs in 4 hours, but just the music.
Right.
Just there's no singing. Singing is a whole nother level.
And that's because it is Nashville, because a lot of places would never be able to do 4 songs in 4 hours.
Right. And he goes, I said, I have a 5th, and he goes, well, it'll be this if we do another hour, but we should be able to knock it out. Because what I did is a month ago, I sent him all the music already. And I said, you guys chart it, have it ready to go. When you get in the studio, everybody will have already heard it. It's already done. You're not creating anything. You're creating, but you're making it better than what I could ever do, on a dumb computer. So they're going to put their sexy on it and make it sound crisp and clean. And that's the exciting part. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah. And only in Nashville, I mean, because of the level of talent of players in Nashville, could they do that in 4 hours?
Yeah, they're like a doctor who does it 8 hours a day, every day. They know and they've seen everything. A judge who's heard every single lie every single day. These guys this is what they do every single day of their week, 4 hours at a time. They do tracks, and they're super good at it. And then that's why I hired them. But I know I can do the vocals. Like, I want to do all the vocals here with you.
That'd be great.
Because I think that you're that level where you will be able to help and guide and do this with me, and I'm excited for that process. So it'll be fun.
Yep, I'd love it.
And again, guys, like I said, so my journey was, and you get to Nashville, like I told you, I thought I could sing Hank Williams Jr. Boy, this is easy. I'll go in, I'll get some songs, I'll get somebody to believe in me, whether they're legit or not. They'll give me some music. I'll go in there, I'll cut this thing, and we'll put it out, and that's all it takes. And boy, the cutting this thing and selling your vocal on a track and sell that product is not easy. Some guys, and I know this for a fact, they literally just copy the songwriter. I've always been a believer that the songwriter is the artist. I know one artist, and I'm going to say her name. It's Alison Krauss out of Nashville. She has just the beautifulest voice ever. And I remember talking to her management about something. It's irrelevant, but he mentioned that she doesn't want the music. She just wants the lyric. That's how talented that woman is. So she's going to sell it the way she wants it. She doesn't want to be inspired or led or anything on her vocals. She wants to be the one to put it down and how she's going to put it out on the radio. And I thought, wow, what a crazy talent that must be, that she can just read these lyrics and go, this is good, and this is where I'm going to take it. And I believe there's a lot of artists, Mark, probably in the world that are just like that. There's just no doubt about it. But to think that you're just going to walk into a studio in Nashville, Tennessee, and put down some type of lyric and sell that vocal the way a Carrie Underwood could, or a Billy Currington could, or a Keith Urban can do, or Brad Paisley or Dierks Bentley, it's much more involved than that. And so when I got to Nashville, I quickly learned that these steps are very important that you have to go through, and surrounding yourself with the best people is what's important. We'll be right back right after this.
At Music Road Productions, we believe every great artist deserves a shot at the big stage. We don't just talk about breaking artists, we prove it. Take Michael Gillis, an independent artist with a dream. And with our team behind him, that dream became a reality. His single climbed the Billboard Hot 100 to number 43 and reached number 17 on the Billboard AC chart. Proof that the right guidance, strategy, and belief can take you all the way. At Music Road Productions, we offer more than just management. We build careers. From branding and radio promotion to streaming growth, social media campaigns, and connecting you to the right industry doors. Our passion is turning talent into chart-topping success stories. If you're ready to take your music to the next level, join the road that leads to Billboard. Music Road Productions, where independent artists become stars. Music Road Productions, your journey, your success, your music.
Welcome back, guys. I was just talking to Mark in the break, and we're talking about how you're going to sell a song and make a commercial in Nashville. It's just not easy. Like I'll tell you this, my hometown of Hibbing gave me the work ethic. They taught me how to work. You know, when it snowed in northern Minnesota, you shovel the driveway 3 times a day. The snow came down, you're shoveling. The wind blew and the drifts came in the driveway, you're shoveling. Then that damn snowplow came by and put it at the end of your driveway and you're shoveling again. So every time it snowed, so I learned what work is, and hauling wood and cutting grass and picking up sticks and working at the roller rink and doing all these things from a young age. And when you get to Nashville, you have to work. And it may not be you're outside shoveling snow. I'm not saying that, but you have to have that work knowledge, ethicity inside of your head going, this is going to take time. This is going to take work. This is going to take energy. This is going to take a lot of discipline. And when you get to Nashville, you need that. If you think anything's been handed to you, and when you get to Nashville, Tennessee, because you're just that talented in your town, it's just not true. I'll tell you this. I had an artist come to town, and this person was getting $2,500 to $3,000 a show in their hometown. And when they got to Nashville, they got put in the beer tub, selling beer out of the tub. They didn't even get to be on stage because, like any company, if you're working at a restaurant, you're probably not going to be the server who's going to make $500-$600 a night. You're probably going to be the hostess first. You're probably going to be the expediter who bring the food out. You're probably going to do a bunch of other jobs within the restaurant before that you prove yourself that you can be the waitress and then make $400, $500, $600 a night. It's the same thing in the music industry. You have to prove yourself. It doesn't matter how good you were back home. Now, cream rises to the top in Nashville, and these bar owners are going to put you in the best time slot where you can sell beer for them. Not sell your music, but sell beer for them and keep those people, those fans, those tourists in that bar compared to the other 60 bars that are in Nashville in a 5-city block area where they can play on that other stage. So it's just super important that you understand you show up on time, you use your manners, you say please and thank you, you do what you say you're going to do, and most importantly, you put on the best show you can every time, no matter how much you think it's redundant or how much you get tired of dealing with certain things. It doesn't matter. Think about our influences from Minneapolis, like Prince. I mean, he pretty much, I think, did everything in Minneapolis and maybe a little bit in L.A., and think about the mark that he made on diversities of sounds and the clubs and the bars and his craft and the way he commanded a stage by just working. I mean, so you could be from anywhere in the United States and have this great ability to play and write and sing, but you got to earn yourself on that stage when you get to a major New York, Chicago, Nashville, LA, anywhere where there's a big music community. You're going to have to earn your way in there because they've heard it all, they've seen it all, they've told everything, but actions speak louder than words when you're in the music industry. So finding, your first struggles is going to be tough. When you first get to town, again, gigs were handed to you by your agent, but when you get to Nashville, you got to find the work. You got to go audition. You got to put your tapes in, go to honky tonk, go to Tootsie's and go to try to get into honky tonk school. Collier's extremely smart. He'll know in 2 minutes whether or not you're a seasoned pro or not, or where you need work, or if you're going to share a stage the first, 3 to 6 months. And it's not anything to do with anything, but he knows what your best trajectory is and where he's going to get to you and where he's going to find you or how he's going to eventually put you at what time slot because of your abilities. He's seen it all. He's done it all. The ups and downs of working you got to pay your bills. You got to pay your rent. Somebody doesn't show up. Somebody calls you and say, will you fill in? You're the guy that says yes and shows up. Those things matter. It's really important to make your mark when you get to Nashville, Tennessee. There's 300 to 400 people in each probably one of these bars looking to be entertained. And can you imagine when they come there to watch music and you're the guy that didn't show up? You're probably not going to work again the next day because they're going to find somebody who will show up. So the decision, I'll tell you, when I went from Hibbing to Minneapolis, lived in Minneapolis for a while, and then decided to move to Nashville, it wasn't an easy one. but it was the right one. And a lot of Nashville is being in the right place at the right time. And like I said, doing what you say you're going to do. It doesn't matter if you want to be a manager, a tour manager, a bus driver, all of it. Because you got to remember, guys, when you're younger and you come to a big town, everybody ahead of you has seen it and done it and heard it 1,000 times over. Nashville is definitely a dream city. You know, it's made for music. There's so many things you can do. You could work in a publishing company, a management company like me. You could be a songwriter and go home every night and go to bed and not have to go out on stage and ride on that stinky tour bus and get tired of bouncing up and down the interstate. There's so many things that you can do. You could work in a bar. You could just play at the bars and make six figures. There's many people down on Nashville that play 4 or 5 nights a week or days. It depends on what their schedule is. And they're making six figures. Think about that. It's over $100,000 playing music and then get to go home every night. But those things are all available for you in Nashville, Tennessee. Some of the best places that you can start out as, like I've always talked about, is Tootsie's or Legends Corner or The Stage. And go on their website and try to find out how to get an audition, what you have to do, what EPK they're looking for, what songs they're looking to hear you sing, what videos they want. And if they say they want A, B, and C, for God's sakes, don't give them D, E, and F. Whatever they're asking of you, don't conjure up in your head that you think you know better. Do exactly what they're asking for, because there's a whole reason behind why these bars are doing what they're doing. That's just a fact. Because everybody down there has a bar. Remember that. Garth has one. Alan Jackson has one. Tootsie's has multiple. Kid Rock's has one. Luke Bryan has one. Lainey Wilson has one. There's Hank Williams has one. Miranda Lambert has one. And all these bars are not just one floor. They're 3 floors. So that's 3 stages that have to be filled from 10 in the morning till 2 in the morning, and you play 4 hours. So you can see all the different spots that are available for you to play. You just have to get in there and do what's asked of you to get you on the right path to where you want to go. And then, you might get a shift like a 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon on a Monday and Tuesday, and you think, well, this is terrible. Well, no, it's not, because you have your foot in the door, and then within a short period of time, you'll start to get different shifts, better shifts because of your abilities. Getting your foot in the door in Nashville is half the battle, because then after that, everything grows from there. So like when I started, Music Road Productions, what's important to me was that we do something different for artists that most management companies don't. Number one, our door is locked too. You can't just walk in. We have to have you come in, because we can't just have people all day long, every day, sending stuff that's what they think is good or is a karaoke song that's not going to do anything. If we did that, we couldn't take care of the artists that have a career going, like Michael Gillis. If I'm sitting and listening to everything else all day, I can't concentrate on what I need to do to get to him to where he needs to be. So our doors are locked as well, but at the same time, we're open to hear when we do open on our website and say that you are able to put in music. What I have learned is the very best people who submit to us don't follow any directions, and the people that are the worst follow every direction. Why is that? Mark, it makes no sense to me, but we literally say, send us A, B, and C, and we'll get something else from them. And you go, you're the best, but I can't manage you because you can't follow simple directions. I mean, it's so frustrating. Can you imagine?
It's really common sense. It's kind of interesting how people are. Nothing to do with the music business, but when I was in college, I used to take a class, and you had to do a lot of papers. You had to do writing, which I happened to be good at, and I used to do well. And one of the girls there, she said, I know you're not putting a lot of effort into this. I spend hours. How are you getting A's? And I looked at her paper, and I said, well, the instructor said, do not use a staple and do not use a cover sheet. And you have a staple in the cover sheet. So when he sees your paper, he's thinking this is not an A paper. And I guarantee you, your paper is much better than mine. But in his mind, that's not an A paper because he didn't follow his directions.
So, because you think about it, you go, I don't have the aggravation or time to listen. I just asked you to do A. That's it. Why did you do everything else that we didn't ask for? It's not because we're arrogant or anything. It's just, it's a time thing. We got to get them in. We got to listen to it. We get it out or go put this in the yes pile and figure it out. Like our company, we do nothing but building relationships with artists and producers and songwriters. That's the key. It's like if you're a restaurant, you want the best produce, you want the best meat, you want the best china on the table. You want those things. You want the best beer distributor that's going to give you the best price. It's the same in the music industry. You have to build your relations with your artists and producers and songwriters and studios and other people with like-minded and bounce things off and questions. You have to focus on, we focus only on artist development and how we're going to manage you and what publishing we can give you. Is this a sync license thing? We're going to get your stuff on TV and movies and you get some sync money off of that. What we're going to do and how we're going to do your writer split, how that works, how to register with BMI and ASCAP or get invited to CSAC, or when you copyright, what do you do, what do you don't do, and why that's so important. And if you do have a co-writer, what's going to happen 10 years from now if your song is really good and all of a sudden this movie comes to you and goes, we have this movie, here's the script, read it, we have Tom Cruise attached, we want to use your song. And then your co-writer is some ass and goes, well, I'm not releasing. I don't want my song because I don't like Tom Cruise because I think he's X, or I don't like this. Now you just lost out. So you have to plan all that stuff ahead of time. Like if it was me and I was a co-writer, I'd put an agreement in at day one and say, if this song is great or not, whether it makes it or not, in 10 years from now, we agree that all sync, all film and TV stuff can use this 10 years from now, no matter what. I would say that day one when I co-write it with somebody. Or say that we're not going to put this song out there. It's only going to be available for just music listening only, not for movies and TVs. But to me, if you can get a sync license for a movie and TV and somebody's going to give you another $200,000 in 20 years went by and now your song is introduced to a whole nother market of people who weren't even born before your song came out, it just seems like it would make sense to me. So if you have a songwriter who's like, I'm not doing that for whatever reason they conjure up in their head, I just can't get by that because it seems to me like you would want your song to be reintroduced, especially if this movie or TV show is going to be huge. Can you imagine the audience that's going to hear your music again, and you're going to get money off that as well. So I don't know. Our philosophy in my company, Music Road Productions, is we're not here to make you promises that we're going to make you a star. We're here to build your career. You're either going to have a very good career as a singer, songwriter, performer, and you're going to be able to go back to your hometown and you're going to be one of the best, or we're going to get you a label deal. But one way or the other, we're going to teach you about the music business and how it works and how to build your brand, which is you. You know, the struggles of running an independent company and the finances and the competitions and proving legitimacy as an artist, you have to go through all that stuff before any major label is going to even consider you. They need to know that you can run a business. I'll tell you, I've been to many websites, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, flew out, seen people live. I show up unannounced with people I'm considering to work with because I want to know what they really are. And you just see blanks, posts that haven't been done in 6 months, .com page on their social media account. You go to it, there's nothing there. It's not available. Maybe they got tired of playing, GoDaddy or whatever platform that they were using, but they didn't take the time to take it down on their other social media pages. Just running the basic, simple business. How could you ever ask a label to invest in you when you can't even invest in yourself? It just doesn't make sense to me. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Siri, bring me a sandwich.
I can't. I am not a human, you moron.
Oh, well then what's the best podcast she can play me?
Now playing Drop Me Off in Nashville.
Aw, thanks, Siri. Give me a hug.
You are an idiot.
Are you a TV producer or camera crew ready to capture the heart and hustle of Music City? Then we got your next hit TV reality show.
Introducing Drop Me Off in Nashville, the reality series where country dreamers chase stardom, heartbreak meets dead ends, and every neon sign has its own story.
We're calling all Nashville filmmakers, videographers, and crews to help bring this story to life. From Ryman Alley to Broadway nights, this is where the fans meet the future stars.
Think Southern Charms meets ABC's Nashville. But real, raw, emotional. A self-contained docuseries.
Want to get behind the camera and shoot the next breakout series? Reach out now at dropmeoffinnashville.com and let's make TV magic, y'all.
Drop Me Off in Nashville, where the dreamers and the fans connect in reality.
That's exactly right, Mark. Thank you, sir. You know, it's so important to have a good producer and a good guy that's working with you. I tell you guys, I live it today with this podcast, and with Mark Maynard, it's great. I thank you, Mark, for everything you do. You make things easy.
It's always a blast with you.
I say things, and he's just like, no problem, Scott. I'll do this. That's cool. So anyway, you guys being in Nashville, I'm blessed. There's right place, right time. There's no doubt about that. But do what you say you're going to do. And if anybody calls you and say, hey, can you help me? Say yes, but then do it. And then don't expect nothing back in return. Remember, all those people in Nashville have been there for years. They've seen it all, heard it all, dealt with it all. You imagine they've been through it. So now that we're fast forward, and here I am from Hibbing, Minnesota, went to Minneapolis, been inspired by people like Bob Dylan and Prince and see what they did, and to come to Nashville and have musical heroes like Charlie Pride, Garth Brooks, and Loretta Lynn. And I remember Charlie Pride is the first concert I ever went to. It was at the Hibbing High School Auditorium. I was 8 years old. And the reason why I knew who Charlie Pride was is because my mom and dad had an 8-track of him. 8-track. If you guys just got to Google it, an 8-track. You just Google it. It's too much to try to explain to you what an 8-track was. But it's the way we listened to music was, and I would put these headphones on in my mom and dad's living room. It was a big brown musical thing that sat on the floor that looked like an overgrown TV, but it had speakers in it. I'd put the headphones on, and I would listen to his albums over and over and over and over and over again. And fast forward 20 years, I never would have dreamed that I would be sitting in his house, visiting with him, having him tell me stories, going to dinner with him in Nashville, being at the Grand Ole Opry with him as a guest. From your musical hero to that is pretty cool. And then to have Loretta Lynn, I saw The Coal Miner's Daughter when I was young and fell in love with her and her path and how she did it. And then to be able to be at her house and have her on our television show, Legends and Lyrics. And we went to her house, we interviewed her. She had this big, huge spread all laid out. And there was just 4 or 5 of us there. And but just a wonderful lady to be in a guest of hers at the Ryman Auditorium and in her dressing room. And I have a picture that I have in my office that I cherish, that she's holding my hand and we're sitting at her table, and she had this big, brown, beautiful gown on. And we visited and visited and visited for the longest time. And she told me stories about her last Christmas. And I remember Loretta said, these kids are running around my house, and I just wanted to grab their heads. And she had her 2 hands together, and she banged them together. She goes, and banged their heads together because they're just driving me crazy. And she was talking to me like I was one of her best friends or her neighbors, and made me feel very, very comfortable. And it was the last time that I was ever with Loretta. And I thought, I don't know why I did it, but I said, Loretta, can I please get a picture with you this time and get an autograph? And she said, Scotty, I'd be disappointed if you didn't ask. So that's the kind of character. The only one that I haven't really got to hang out with yet is Garth. Like one-on-one or be invited to something by him. But everybody else, all my heroes, I've been fortunate, and I'll take the 2 for 3, and it's very cool. But I hope none of this comes off as bragging, because honestly, you guys, I worked my ass off to get to this point. I've been burned, I've been robbed, I've been lied to. I've had relationships where I've had music on the counter and it would go in the garbage or be lost. And there's just all kinds of different stories that's happened to me along the way that you have to overlook that and keep trucking on forward to get to where you want to be. and I can't be happier than the job that I get to do for a living and being a music artist manager, because the climb, like Miley Cyrus says, that song that she has, that is the fun part. That getting the artist to accomplish another goal or another dream that they set out to, that they did. I didn't do it. I just opened the door a little bit. They're the one who took their boot and kicked it all the way open. I can't be you. You have to be you. You have to want your dream more than I want the dream for you. And that's when you work with professionals, you get to see that dream come true and work with them on those levels. It's so rewarding. And that's what I love the most out of all of this, honestly. So keep your focus when you go to town. You could make it as an artist, and there's a chance that you could do that. But there's a path that you have to take, and you have to surround yourself with a good management company and good people that can help you. And remember, there are crooks out there. There's no doubt about it, and you're going to run into them. But your wisdom and knowledge of being in Nashville should allow you over time to see who those people are, and you filter those people away from you. It's very important that you do that. The grind, it'll never end. Every day is another day. Every day is another challenge. Like I said, I get text messages from my artists at any given time, but that's something that was on that person's mind, and they want to implement it, and you have to adjust it doesn't matter if you're at the movies, if you're shopping, if you're having dinner, you make those changes for those artists because you're helping them build on their dream, which is really cool. We'll be right back.
3.
Your guitar isn't just an instrument, it's your voice, your soul, your weapon. So don't let it dull out. Bring it to life with Doc Simon's Miracle Guitar Polish, the premium 4-ounce organic formula that restores, protects, and ignites your finish with a stage-ready shine. Safe for every guitar finish and fine wooden instrument. Zero junk, all tone. Whether you're shredding solos or strumming stories, this polish delivers pro-level results every time. Make your guitar look as good as it sounds. Doc Simon's Miracle Guitar Polish. Your secret weapon for shine, tone, and total respect. Get yours now at SlamoCustomGuitars.com. That's SLAMO CustomGuitars.com.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there. The key takeaways from today: don't fear moving for your dreams. Go after it. Go try to figure it out. It's important. You don't want to live your life with if. Success comes from failures. I live by that. You're going to fail. You're going to screw up, but you're going to learn from that. And when you learn from that, move forward. One conversation, remember this, one conversation with somebody can change your path to the good or to the bad. Make sure that conversation is the best representation of yourself. And building others up is how you build yourself. Don't just take. Try to give. Give more than you take. And it's really important because you want people to go, like, for example, I've never asked for a favor in 15 years in Nashville. But when I did the Drop Me Off in Reality TV show, like I've had friends that work for major artists on the road. I've never said, can you do this for me? Never. But when I did my television show, those people that I did so many things for 15 years straight, I said, hey, are you willing to get involved and help? And this is kind of what I'm doing. And they all said yes. Because they knew that tomorrow I'm not going to call them and say, hey, could you for me? Could you for me? I don't do that. I'd rather say, I'll help you cut your lawn for you. You know, I'll definitely help you move all that stuff. There's no question, because it's just the right thing to do. So if I were to sum this up, from Hibbing to Minneapolis to Nashville, this journey has been more about just the music. It's about the faith I had in myself, betting on myself, not listening to the noise from my friends to my family who doubted me. I was chasing something, whether it was music or business or a better life. I didn't know what it was, but I took a shot, because you never know when your name is going to come up. You just don't know. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening today, you guys. Keep John in your prayers, Sebastian. he gets better quickly, and that we get him back on the air as soon as we can. And we appreciate you listening to Drop Me Off in Nashville. And my name is Scott Hooger, with my good friend Mark Maynor, who's been stepping in and helping. And until next time, keep chasing your dreams, keep driving, and keep believing, okay?
Thanks for joining Scotty and Friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join the Drop Me Off in Nashville family. Engineering and production provided by Podcast Production Music.
Well, Nashville, can't thank you enough for all the time.
Y'all come back now. Here?